Hello, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having an amazing day today. As a form of compensation for the fact that my last video, I just made a long ass intro. It was about 4 minutes long. We're gonna keep this one nice and short. Don't got much to say except I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this reaction video. Okay, I hope I can provide some I don't know, my feedback, my reactions. I mean, like I always say in these videos, it's not like a try not to laugh or anything. It's nothing crazy going on. I mean, does it really get crazier than what you're talking about? But it's not like shocking, like in your face, like a jump scare. You're not gonna see some crazy like that. But this is the most important knowledge there is, man. This is the most important knowledge there is, and if you're watching this with me, I appreciate you. Okay, let's go. The Pursuit of Wonder, the one thought that can change how you feel about everything. Let's see if that's true. Okay, let's see if this one thought is gonna change how I feel about everything. And I don't know how. It depends how what everything are we talking about? How much everything are we talking about? Let's go. Pursuit of Wonder. Don't miss.
This video is sponsored by the book summary app.
Damn, Blinkist
Blinkist.
loves this guy. Always.
The intimations of it can and do spur throughout the day, both subtle and explicit, often without our conscious awareness. Every sensation of both subtle.
Wait, hold on. I don't usually go back. What? The intimations? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? The intimations of it can spur throughout the day. Okay, both subtle and explicit.
Often without our conscious awareness.
Okay, could
every
be the
sensation of
subconscious.
hunger, every concern about our health, every passing siren of an ambulance, every tragic news story, every photograph
those.
of our younger self, or the sight of someone aged into their last, the passing of dead trees in the midst of winter, that weird sensation waking up just following a nap or in between sleep states, all remind us in various ways that existence stands on a ground that can, at any uncertain moment, and certainly at some, be cracked open, dropping us down into the abyss of non-existence forever. Death is our lifelong opponent, always taunting us in the background, beating us up with each wrinkle, each gray hair, each stiff neck, and decaying function, if we are lucky and is merciful enough to keep us around for a while. Like a tree, its roots sprawl down underneath existence, imperceptible to us on the surface, void of the explicit expression of our life, but yet is completely intertwined with it. Arguably, nearly everything we do is, in some sense, pressed up on by these roots. Our actions, our beliefs, our values, our goals, our life.
Is that terror management?
In his book, The Denial of Death, 20th century cultural anthropologist and writer Ernest Becker argued that death, and more precisely, our denial of death, is the primary underpinning motivational force responsible for the majority of human behavior.
Yes.
As humans, one of the fundamental things that set us apart and forward amongst other earthly creatures is our unique ability to think conceptually. Becker argued, however, that although this in fact does set us apart and makes us feel as though we are special in some grand way, it does not actually make us so.
Why not?
Man is a worm and food for worms.
Yes.
This is the paradox. He is out of nature and hopelessly in it. He is dual, up in the stars and yet housed in a heart-pumping, breath-grasping body that once belonged to a fish and still carries the gill marks to prove it. Becker
Oh
wrote.
my god.
Consequently, humanity finds itself with a unique conflict, the juxtaposition of its awareness of itself and its condition.
Wait, hold on. Give me a minute. Can we just go back for a moment? Just appreciate that? We have gill marks? What does that mean? Gill marks? Talking about my ribs? What's the gill marks? Gill marks? Am I stupid? We have gill marks? I mean, the only thing I can think of is like the ribs. They do kind of look like gill marks in a sense, don't they? I mean, yeah, we have a similar skeleton structure to a lot of animals, even some of them who are in the sea. They carry a lot of the same bones. Just, they obviously are very different size and, I guess shape a little bit. Same bones. But man, what a fucking quote. Man is a worm and food for worms. What does it mean, worm? I can't even say that word. I hate saying that, worm. This is the paradox. He is out of nature and hopelessly in it, right? I feel that all the time. I feel like sometimes I look around, I see people, and I'm just like, bro, we're fucking animals. And I'm just like, I'm a fucking animal too. And it's so weird that I can consciously be aware of the fact that I'm an animal and the fact that I'm alive and that I'm conscious and that I fucking exist, I guess. it's just like, where did this come from? How is this a possibility? It's like such a powerful thing. It's such a weird thing that in this universe, somehow, some way, for some reason, consciousness exists. I have no idea how. Like, you look out there and you're just like, we are the universe, right? We are the matter coming alive, coming to, like, the matter waking up. It's the universe waking up. We are the universe looking at itself in a conscious sense, right? The animals are just the universe surviving, with multicellular organisms, right? Like they're alive, and they're just surviving. But we are the universe, consciously aware of itself. And it's just like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say that, I can't confirm that we're the only things conscious, but it's just like, look around you, right? Like, we are the most conscious around here. I mean, it's something crazy. We belong to something bigger and crazier and grander than any religion might tell you. We have no fucking clue what it is. We have no idea. I don't know exactly. But there's only one possibility. You don't need to know what it is exactly, but you can know, since we are the universe. Like, we're a part of something insane. We're a part of something that we don't fucking understand. We might never understand. And it's just like, that's food for thought. Like, of course that doesn't make us like royalty or anything. It's just like, yeah.
Carries the gill marks to prove it, Becker wrote. Consequently, humanity finds itself with a unique conflict, the juxtaposition of its awareness of itself and its condition, a living thing born to die like all other living things, and its lack of any reason or specialness to justify this awareness. Man is given no other significance or consolation for this burden he must bear. What does it mean to be a self-conscious animal? Becker writes. The idea is ludicrous if it is not monstrous. It means to know that one is food for worms. This is the terror, to have emerged from nothing, to have a name, consciousness of self, deep inner feelings, and excruciating inner yearning for life and self-expression, and with all this, yet to die. It seems like a hoax. Whether we are aware of it or not, according to Becker, this terror of death, and more specifically, our denial of honestly responding to and accepting it, is at the core of almost everything we do, and most of us are mostly unaware of it. The conscious mind cannot square the circle of the approaching abyss. It cannot make sense of the idea that this is its only serving of forever. In its inept confusion over its finitude into infinite nothingness, serving circle of the approaching abyss.
It's only serving of forever. And it was developed from what? Like, how does that even work? It was developed. Develops out of what? For some reason, I am so unfamiliar and unacquainted with that process of baby making and how all of that works. Like, to think that I was a sperm cell, and that apparently you don't actually win the race. Apparently, you might have actually been chosen. Like, so I'm pretty sure somebody has argued there's no race being won in a sperm race. Like, you apparently might be actually just be chosen by like natural selection, stuff like that. Natural selection of the sperm cells, like, holy shit, or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that at all. But yeah, this is it, right? And like, no wonder people don't want to die, right? It's just like, now I'm more of a risk taker because I realize I want to die, right? I'm just like, well, I'm gonna die anyway, so I mean, I don't want to die young. I don't want to die fast. Like, I have too much to do. I have too much to prove, right? Like that one guy said, I can't go because I need y'all to know what time it is. But it's also like, well, but I still must take risks, because even though I don't want that to happen, I'm not gonna just shy away in a corner and in terror and just pray, right? And just like surrender, be like completely chained up and unable to move by the terror of death. I can't do it. I used to be like that, but I can't anymore. I have to take every risk, because that's what living is truly about. Even if it might cut your living experience short. It's just what you have to do. Because anything could. I mean, I could sit in here all day and I'll develop a heart disease and die anyway. Or I could go out there, confront that shit, maybe get run over or something. I don't know, right? God forbid. I don't know, like, knock on wood. But it's also like, well, this is the only chance we got, so let's make the best of it, right? We're all in. That's what it is. We're all in.
It cannot make sense of the idea that this is its only serving of forever. in its inept confusion over its finitude into infinite.
And in this year too, right? In this time period, like if you're watching this, your only time here in forever. Like how I can't even know that anybody watching this is conscious. I've never been in you. I've only ever woken up as this motherfucker, and it's just like I have to accept. Okay, all of you fuckers are conscious. I'm not one of those NPC motherfuckers that thinks like, oh, I might be the only person that's conscious. That's never even crossed my mind ever. I just always known that I've been unique, and I've had like I've been a very special person and very unique in a lot of ways, but never that I was like the only conscious man. It's just like, well, look at us. Like we're here alive right in this time period. I mean, it could have been much worse. It could have been worse. I'm just saying. Who knows if maybe it'll get better? I mean, it seems like that. Like the trend overall looks like it might be rising, but you know, nothing is just this. It's this. This is the world. This is the universe, right? This is the universe we live in. You know, entropy and randomness, and there's sometimes a lot of chaos. But it's just like I'm happy to be alive, and this time period ain't too bad. It ain't too shabby. As much shit as what's going on right now, it ain't too shabby. It really isn't. It's just
nothingness. It fears it. It resists it. It uses the same conceptual capacity that allows it to comprehend its death, to contrive methods and explanations. To infinite nothingness. It fears it. It resists it. It uses the same conceptual capacity that allows it to comprehend its death, to contrive methods and explanations, to try to deny it. As Becker would refer to it, the individual undertakes a casu sui project, or heroism project, in an attempt to distract and deny against the implications of their mortality. We create and engage in symbolic constructs, cultural activities, and beliefs.
So should we only be involved in the complications of our mortality? Should we only be, like, aware and, like, concerned with that? Should we only be concerned with the implications? Like, of course we're gonna do this, of course.
In an attempt to refuse our cosmic insignificance and convince ourselves that we matter.
Matra.
Becker suggested that people go about this a number of ways, depending on the person. For some, it is through religion. For others, it is through different means of cultural contribution and status, like fame, success in a career field or company, or the creation of things considered significant by culture. All methods, in some way or another, attempt to eternalize the self, either by a literal eternal afterlife or by the displacement of the self
Legends
through
never
an
die.
eternalized legacy and significance in the world beyond one's physical existence. However, Becker essentially argued that ultimately all efforts towards this casu sui, or heroism, or immortality project are futile and destined to fail.
Why?
With the belief of religious afterlives and solutions increasingly being eclipsed by modern knowledge and understanding,
I know,
man
it
finds
sucks.
himself unable to do anything ultimately significant or immortalizing, as the universe is revealed to be utterly chaotic, indifferent, and meaningless. Becker offered no consolation in the way of resolving humanity's urge to heroism in conflict with its plight of
Yeah, but it's
insignificant
beautiful. We gained consciousness somehow through the universe. We didn't come into the universe. We came out of it. And now we have consciousness. The consciousness came out of the universe. So it means something. It's doing something. The consciousness came out of the universe. It didn't come into it. It came out of it. Consciousness came out of the universe. The universe is conscious. It's aware of itself. We are the universe being aware of itself. So what do we do about that? What are we going to do? You know? What are we going to do about all the chaos? We're an open system. We try to have order and as much not chaos as possible. We don't like chaos. Obviously, chaos fucks us up, right? And we're aware of that. And of course, an unaware system doesn't give a fuck, right? Closed systems, they have a tendency towards chaos. The second law of thermodynamics. But it's like, there's something great about being conscious, man. There's something amazing about it. There's something no English word could describe, I'm telling you.
Finitude, because he did not believe there was any. And so, what does one do from here then? For Becker, it is not purely hopeless. What he offered, rather, was an alternative kind of heroism, characterized by a sort of honesty with one's condition, living with an intense humility and positive resignation to the awe and mystery and chaos of the universe and our insignificant position within it. This position, our absurdity, our victimization by our own death, can be transmuted in a way that does not deny it, but rather provides perspective. Honest perspective that can reduce and numb one's concerns over the petty and trivial, potentially deviating or extending beyond Becker slightly. Perhaps
This is true, you know, this is what got me to stop bitching about something that it was so trivial, I don't even want to say it. I was like, yo, I wish I was taller. and think about the implications of that. I was like, sometimes I do wish I was taller. Maybe I could have been more of an athlete. Maybe, I also blame the hot chips and Cheetos and the shitty diet, just eating snacks, chips, Takis, staying up late at night, playing video games. Sleep is the most important thing when it comes to height. And I was just like, man, I wish I could have been more, more athletic, more getting out more. Which, I actually I wasn't too bad on that. I've never been like a fat dude or anything like that. So that's how like, I didn't completely fuck myself up. But I feel like maybe I could have had potential to be taller. But it's also like, well, look at the implications. Look at why I would possibly ever care about that. And I don't want to ever. It was never my goal to be a basketball player. I never intended to. Like maybe if I wanted to play basketball or something, then I'd be like really in some deep shit at this height. I'm like what, 5'10", like something like around there, right? I'm like 5'10", and of course, I'm concerned about the shorties that are gonna want me. Like that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Shorties. That was it. That was what I was there in the gym. I was like, man. I'm seeing all these 6'2" dudes. Like I'm just like, damn, I wish. And then it dawned on me somehow. I don't even remember how. It's this dawned on me. Something dawned on me that was like this, and I was just like, man, that's so trivial. I don't give a fuck. I'm just happy that I'm alive, that I can walk, that I can see, that I can hear, that I can talk, that I'm conscious, that I'm alive in this time period. What if that I had the circumstances I do now, which allows me to believe that I am wise, that I am a curious person, that I know a good amount of knowledge at my age, right? That I can have this type of content available and at the ready. Like, I'm blessed. But I also have so much more to do. I'm broke. But I'm blessed. And I focus on that. I'm blessed. Because, look, gonna die anyway. Can't focus on anything petty. Can't focus on some bullshit. And that's all people want to do now because they think they're immortal. They're not.
It's the best one can do in the face of death.
Motherfuckers aren't thinking about death. Look at people. Look at the rat race. Motherfuckers work until 65. You're not even guaranteed to make it to 65. To enjoy that shit when you're at your worst years of your life. When you're getting sick and old. When you can't even walk perfectly anymore. When you look the shittiest you have your whole entire life. Like, come on, dog. Can't even enjoy that when you're in your prime. Hopefully in the future it gets better because I do understand the necessity. Like not everybody in the world we don't live in that kind of place. There's too much shit stopping that type of thing from happening. Like we don't live in that place where we can have people just do what they love for a job. At least for a job, right? So somebody's always gonna have to do a job they hate probably. Maybe for the entirety of the rest of human, maybe not. Maybe robots can take over all the shittiest jobs, but that's not.
Death is to use it to put the life they have into perspective. Perhaps we don't think about it enough, at least consciously, to properly make use of it, to strengthen the muscle of our mind enough to handle its true inevitable weight. Perhaps to consider somewhat often and hard that at some point none of this will matter and that it will all be lost. Shines a proportionally bright light on what does matter right now.
Like, you're using these images to interpret your life of, okay, well, I'm thinking about my life. I'm in retrospection mode, and I'm consciously trying to think about it, and now I'm gonna try to value it. Now I'm gonna try to connect that to something. Okay, how can I connect what I've done with my life with significance, with importance, with longevity, with how long is this gonna last? Like, why? Like, do you really need to do that? Of course, I understand why I do that. Of course, I want to be important. I don't really want to be forgotten. I couldn't even tell you exactly why. I just know I wouldn't want to be forgotten instantly. I wouldn't want to just, like, have nothing done and just be forgotten about ever. Like, that idea, you think about that, being forgotten forever and never having people never know your full story. Maybe they only have a view of you, an image of you, a thought of you, a conception of you, a story of you that isn't very complete. Well, they're never going to have a complete story. I mean, only you ever could. That's not the case. But, like, something about that. If you just think about that. Yeah, but it's also like, is there a way to just evade it? Like, to just not have to think like that. To think in those terms. Because that's very human, primal terms. That's such a primal way of looking at it. Could you move past that? Past having to be so concerned when introspecting in your life of, is it gonna matter? Why are you focused on those terms? Why are you thinking about that? Why are you associating and connecting that with your life? Why do you care so much? Why is it that when you think about life, you always go there? You always go here, in this direction over here of meaning and purpose and, well, not purpose, but like meaningfulness and fame and like, how can I live forever? How can I stop? How can I, you know what I mean? Like, you always go there, not purpose, because of course you need purpose. You want to find purpose. That's like, I wouldn't ever, like, I'm happy that purpose is a thing. I wouldn't ever, go against that. Like, you need to find purpose, absolutely. But
When it comes to life and death, there are really only two certainties. You will die, but you are alive now. Whether you agree fully with Becker or not, whether you believe in some afterlife or grand meaning, this is all anyone can truly know, for sure. There is no telling if or what comes after death. There is no telling when it will come for you, but there is telling that you have life right now. To enjoy fully this moment now, as often as you can, in as many ways as you can. To fall in love with a person, a thing, a moment, yourself. To make the most of it all despite knowing that you will lose it all to nothing, is more than enough heroism. What's worse than to live a life knowing that one will die is to live a life knowing that one will die and not live as many moments as one can, properly relishing in the fact that they have not yet. At some point, you will do everything for the last time. You will see your last sunset. You will taste your last bite of food. You will laugh your last laugh. You will see everyone you know a last time. You will do anything for a last time. You will be you for the last time. If there is nothing specific to be done, the only thing that truly matters is that we do what matters to us while we can. There is nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. We must charge headlong into the absurdity, embrace the futility, and live hard for nothing in every moment. One must be careful and mindful to not make the singularness of their shot at existence a pressure to get it all right, to do all the right things and think all the right thoughts and feel all the right feelings. The point is quite the opposite. You will mostly do a lot of the wrong things, think a lot of the wrong thoughts, and feel a lot of the wrong feelings. But precisely because this is your one shot at life, this must be okay. You are driving blind through the most impossibly complex, strange maze that you know ends in a head-on collision with the wall. What use is getting more upset or guilty about feeling upset or guilty in an existence that set you up? Of course, this is far easier said than done, but perhaps in true, deep contemplations of one's mortality, at least on occasion, this reminder can sometimes serve more as a sedative and not merely a stimulant.
nice analogy. Damn! Blake is that?
This video was sponsored by Blinkist. You, as an average reader, can be both read and listened to even while...
Get your ad money, man. Good shit. Good fucking shit. I thought it was gonna be like it is a perspective thing. What am I talking about? For some reason, I just didn't expect it to be involved with death and terror management theory. It's just like, what did he say here?
What's worse than to live a life
look at
in
this. This is
person,
what really
a
talked to
thing,
me.
a moment, yourself, to make the most of it all
Fall in love
despite
with a person, a thing, a moment, yourself, to make the best of it all, despite knowing that you will lose it all to nothing.
knowing that you will lose it all to nothing is more than enough heroism.
It's more than enough heroism, but we're the universe. So if we're loving, the universe is loving this other thing. So that happened in the universe. Oh, I don't know what meaning that might have.
It's worse than to live a life
I don't know what I just even said.
knowing that one will die is to live a life knowing that one will die and not live as many moments as one can, properly relishing in the fact that they have not yet.
Sorry, what?
It's worse than to live a life knowing that one will die.
It's worse than to live a life knowing that one will die.
Is to live a life knowing that one will
No, what's worse than to live a life knowing that one will die is to live a life knowing that one will die
and not live as many moments as
not
one
live
can,
as many moments as one
properly
can,
relishing in the
probably
fact
relishing the
that they
fact
have
that
not
they
yet.
yet.
At some point, you will do everything for the last time. You will see your last sunset. You will taste your last...
Yep. That's a good one, man. That's a fucking good one. The mystery of life is not a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. Philosophers might be rolling in their grave. Because for some reason, you think of philosophers as trying to solve a problem, but they'd also argue it's just a reality to experience. They're experiencing the reality by questioning it, right? Because, I mean, why not question it? Wow. After a roller coaster ride of nihilism, I don't feel the nihilism. I don't feel worthless. For some reason, nihilism does not touch me. Nihilism does not touch. For some reason, I'm too good for that. I'm not built for nihilism. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple, and yet everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. My good man's Alan Watts. Well, let me know what you guys think. No more of that. Video is way too long now. It's only a 10-minute fucking video. They didn't even go on for 10 minutes. It's 8 minutes. I'm done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Your thoughts on the video. If you enjoyed it, let me know what I talked too much. Whatever. Leave your advice. Don't care. Not that I don't care, but it's just like leave a like, subscribe, and all of that good stuff if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Take care.